everyone, I'm Sherika Hapuarachchi. This is my YouTube channel Math Plus. Today I'm going to teach you this Edexcel International GCSE Mathematics A Student Book 1. Now there we are going to do one part of it. Now first of all, we'll check the content. Now, when we go through the content, under the first unit, now this is the first unit. The first unit, they have divided into some parts. Now, I will read out the parts. Now, under the unit 1, they have taken number 1, then the algebra 1, right? Okay, the first part is the number 1, then algebra 1, graphs 1, shape and space 1, and set. So today I'm planning to cover this first part. So when we take this first part, number 1, under this part, I'm going to discuss with you all working with fractions, then order of operations, the bidmas, then the significant figures, then the decimal places, and finally, we are going to discuss some exam practice questions, right? So that is the part we are going to do from the today's lesson, right? Let's move to the slides. Right. Now, under number 1, now as I mentioned you earlier, the first part is from fractions. Now, this is the exercise. Now, they have given several exercises, but I'm not going to do all the exercises. Some of the important exercises I'm going to discuss here, right? So now here, the first part they have given to simplify these. Now you all know, normally when we are going to simplify a fraction, you should know the tables. Like for an example, I will take these 8 divided by 12. So when you're going to simplify, so you have to identify my numerator is 8. And my denominator is 12. So when I'm going to divide these two numbers, I have to consider a common number which is divisible by both. So therefore, I'm taking 4. That means I can divide 8 by 4 exactly, as well as I can divide 12 by 4 exactly. So when I divide like that, I will get 8 divided by 4, it's 2. Then 12 divided by 4, it's 3. So this is the simplest form. So I cannot simplify further. Therefore, I can say when I simplify 8 out of 12, I will get 2 out of 3 or 2 over 3. And that is the simplest form, right? So I will show another one. Just imagine if I take these 56 out of 84. Now there, maybe by looking, you can't understand which is the correct number that we have to take here, right? So when you do not get, you have to think about the tables. Now my first number or the numerator is 56 and my denominator is 84, right? We'll check number 8. Now 84, we can't divide by 8. Shall we consider number 4? Yes, we'll try with 4. Now I'm going to use the short division, right? So when I divide 4 by this number, how many 4s inside 5? I will get 1 and 1 remains. So this 1 and 6, I can consider as 16. So inside 16, I have 4 4s. So when I simplify 56 by 4, I got 14. Similar way, I'm going to divide my denominator. It's of course very easy. How many 4s inside 8? It's 2. And how many 4s inside 4? It's 1. So I will get 14 out of 21. So by looking even, I can say this is not the simplest fraction. So I can simplify this fraction further. Now I know when I get the 7 times table, 14 is there and 21 also there. So therefore, the both numbers I can divide by 7. So when I divide 14 by 7, I'm getting 2. And 21, when I divide by 7, I'm getting 3. So 56 out of 84, when I simplify, I'll get 2 out of 3 as my simplest form, right? Okay, now that is how we simplify a fraction. Okay, right. Now the next one, I have to convert it. Now they have given the fraction and I want to find the decimal form. In the last two, they have given the decimal form and I have to convert it to the fraction form, right? We'll see how we are going to do it, okay? Right, see my first one. It is 4 out of 5. It's a fraction. Now I'm going to convert into the decimal form. Now we know a fraction, when we want to convert to a decimal form, how do we do it? The numerator, we have to divide by the denominator. So that is the method we use. So same method you use here. According to my fraction, 4 is my numerator and 5 is my denominator. So therefore, I'm taking 4 divided by 5 and I'm using the long division, right? Inside 4, I do not have any 5s. Therefore, I'll put 0 and I put the decimal point and I'll take 1 0 here. Inside 40, how many 5s are there? There are 8 5s. So therefore, I can write 8. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 minus 40 is 0. So I will get the answer as 0.8. So that is the decimal form. So when this 4 out of 5 fraction, when I convert to the decimal form, I will get 0.8, right? So that is how we are identifying, right? Let's check the next one. 0.75, that is my decimal form. I want to convert it to the fraction form, right? Now we'll see how we are going to do it. 0.75. So now according to this number, I have to see how many decimal points are here. Now according to the 0.75, I have 2 decimal places. I will show it. 1, 2. That means when I write it as a fraction, I can write it as 75 over 100. Right? So similar like that. Now just imagine if I have 0.2. Now according to this decimal, I have only 1 point, 1 decimal point. So therefore I can write it 2 over 10. So that is how we do it, right? And the next one, they say change each of these to a mixed number. Now, how do we call normally when you get a fraction? Imagine I have a fraction. This is my fraction, 5 out of 7. So I say it is a proper fraction. Why do we say it's a proper fraction? Because the denominator is larger than the numerator. When the denominator is larger than the numerator, we say they are proper fractions. But according to this question, I can see numerators are larger than the denominator. So therefore, how do we call these type of fractions? We call them as improper fractions. So I will show it from this. My fraction is 17 over 5 or 17 out of 5. And they asked me to write as a mixed number. So what should I do? I have to divide 17 by 5. Okay. So Inside 1, I do not have any 5s, therefore I include 0. Inside 17, we'll count 5, 10, 15, it's 3. Then 5 times 3, it's 15. So 17 minus 15, it's 2. Now remember, when we write as a mixed number, how do we write it? You have to write the answer, then the remainder, then the denominator. So that's the order we write, okay? Answer, A stands for answer, R stands for remainder, and D stands for denominator. So according to that, my answer is 3. So therefore, I can write 3. And what is my remainder? It's 2. So I can write that as my numerator. And my denominator is 5. So when I convert 17 over 5, that improper fraction, to a mixed number, I will get 3 and 2 out of 5, right? Now that is what you should know from this exercise 1. And there is another part which I have to check from this exercise 1. Imagine if you get a fraction with a decimal number. Now here I have 0.9 divided by 2.7. So when you have a decimal number, always you try to remove this decimal. Now, how do we remove this decimal? You consider your denominator. Now, according to my denominator, I have 1 decimal point. So if I can move this back, then I will get 27. To do that, I have to multiply this one by 10. Right? So I have done that to the denominator. Therefore, I have to do the same thing to the numerator as well. So 0.9, when I multiply by 10, I'm getting 9. And then 2.7, when I multiply by 10, I'm getting 27. So this is my new fraction. So when I get 9 over 27, now I can see both numbers are divisible by 9. Therefore, up and down, both I can divide by 9. 9 divided by 9, it's 1. And 27 divided by 9, it's 3. Therefore, I'll get my answer as 1 over 3. Right? Okay. Now, from this exercise, we check the fractions. How do we simplify a fraction? Then how do we convert a fraction to a decimal number? And how do we convert a decimal number to a fraction? And how do we convert an improper fraction to a mixed number? Right, let's move to the next slide. Now here we are going to use some more fractions, right? Now these are multiplications, right? Now I will start with the first one. 4 out of 5 multiplied by 15 out of 60. Now, when you get like this, you know in multiplication, we can simplify the numerator and the denominator. So, same method, I'm going to use it here. Now, I can simplify this 4 and 16. 1, 4. To how many 4s inside 16? It's 4, so I have written. Similar way, I can simplify 5 and 15. 1, 5, and here there are 3 5s, right? So then I can get my final answer as 1 times 3, it's 3, divided by 1 times 4, it's 4. So then I will get the answer as 3 out of 4, right? I will do this one, this third question. Now in the third question, I have 2 mixed numbers. So therefore, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to make them as improper fractions, right? That is the way. Now we know how do we change a mixed number to the improper. Now I will show it here. Imagine this is my first one. Remember, when you get a mixed number, this is the way we convert it to a improper fraction. First, you multiply these two and you add, then write the answer with the same denominator. Now let me show it. 8 times 3, that is the method we are using. So you take 8 times 3. After that, you add 3 and write the same denominator. Okay, we'll simplify. 8 times 3, it's 24. 24 plus 3, it's 27. 27 over 8. Okay, that is how we are getting that number. So then I'm going to do the third one. My third question. Then I have 27 over 8 because I have changed it to improper. Similar way I'm doing my second one. Look how the way I'm doing. 9 times 1, it's 9. 9 plus 1, right? It's 10. So I'm getting 10 over 9. I'm getting 10 over 9. Now, after that, if I have numbers, I can simplify. Yes, I have numbers. Now, look here. 1, 9, 2, 3 9s. And I can simplify these two with the 2 times table. There are 4 2s to 5 2s. Then I can simplify 5 times 3. It's 15. And 4 times 1, it's 4. So if you want, you can write this as an improper fraction, or else you can change into a mixed number and write. So we can change into a mixed number and write 3 and 3 out of 4, right? So both methods are acceptable, right? We'll do another example. I will do this example, right? Okay. This is my question. B over A squared multiplied by B over A into A to the power 3. Now I will spread it and write. The meaning is A into A. A to the power 3 means A into A. Now this B squared even I will write. The meaning is B into B. So when you write like that way, you can identify. Now let me write this also the similar way like that. Then you can identify very well. Here it was A squared. So I write A into A. Now the possible ones you can simplify, right? I can simplify 1b to 1b numerator and the denominator. You can simplify. Again, another b to b. Then 1a to a, another a to a, another a to a. Then I will end up with 1, right? So I do not get any other answer. So therefore, my final answer is 1. So from this exercise 2, we have identified how to multiply mixed numbers, right? When you have mixed numbers, how to multiply. So remember, when you get the mixed numbers, first you better convert them into improper. After that, you simplify. If you just get the fractions like that, you can simplify and find the answer. Similar way, when you get the letters even, so you can simplify according to the way that you get, right? So that is what we learned from the exercise 2, right? Let's move to the next slide. Now here we are going to learn, now in the previous slide, we learned how do we multiplying fractions. Now here we are learning how do we divide fractions. Now normally when we are going to divide fractions, there is a way, there is a method. Now what is the method? When you have the division, you cannot simplify. So therefore, this division sign, you have to change that division sign into multiplication. You can't just change this division sign to multiplication. When you change this division to multiplication, you have to consider the reciprocal, right? The reciprocal means you have to interchange the numerator and the denominator. So I will show it How are we going to do that process? Imagine I'm taking this. So first of all, I have to make them as improper. Now you all know how are we doing it. Right, let's try it. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 1, it's 4 over 3. That is my first fraction. Then I include its division. Right, then the second one also the same way I will make it as improper. 5 times 2, it's 10. 10 plus 2, it's 12 over 5. Now this is my fraction. I'm going to divide, but we know we can't divide. Therefore, I'll change this division to multiplication. Now see my next step. So I'm writing 4 over 3. This division I change into multiplication. So when I change this division sign to multiplication, as I mentioned you earlier, we have to get the reciprocal. So the reciprocal means interchange the numerator and the denominator. That means according to this fraction, I will take 5 as my numerator and 12 as my denominator, right? So after that, you can simplify. Right, now look how the way I'm going to simplify. Now I can see, I can simplify these two. 1 4 to 3 4s here, right? I cannot simplify further. Therefore, I can multiply and write the answer. So 1 times 5, I'm getting 5. And 3 times 3, it's 9. So I will get the answer as 5 out of 9. Now, okay, right. I'll try another example. I will show another one, right? We'll see this sixth question. So first of all, this mixed number, we have to convert into an improper fraction, right? 5 times 1, it's 5. 5 plus 4, it's 9 over 5 divided by 6. Now here, I do not see any denominator. So always remember, when we do not see any denominator, always it's 1. So if you want to write that, then it's easy. When you're going to do the next step, then it will be very easy for you, right? Okay. Now I have 9 over 5. This division, I will change into multiplication. Then this 1 will go up and 6 will come down, right? Is it clear up to here? Okay. Now, after that, you can simplify the numerator and the denominator. Now, here, I can simplify these two. There are 2 3s, and here I'll get 3 3s, right? So, 3 times 1, it's 3. Then 5 times 2, it's 10. So, therefore, I will get the answer 3 out of 10, right? From this exercise, what we have learned, how do we simplify the divisions? Now, when we get the fractions, how do we simplify the fractions now in the under the division process, right? So we can't divide the fraction. So when you want to divide the fraction, you have to first convert the division into multiplication. After that, you can simplify, right? So let's move to the next slide. Right. Now, this, of course, it's very easy. You all know these are simple fractions. So, addition and the subtractions, of course, you all know. Therefore, I will do one part from here, right? Imagine this is my fraction. I'm going to simplify this. 7 and 2 out of 3 minus 1 and 1 out of 6. Right. Now, there are 2, 3 ways to do this. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the first method. The first method I'm going to do, now why I'm using this method? Because it's convenient. Now, if you feel you can use another method as well, right? Now, according to this first method, what I'm going to do, first I'm going to make this mixed number as an improper fraction, right? 3 times 7, it's 21. 21 plus 2, it's 23 over 3 minus 6 times 1, it's 6. 6 plus 1, it's 7 over 6, right? So what I have done here, right? Now I have identified the LCM. After when I have identified the LCM, okay? So after when I identify the LCM, now I identified that as 6. So I multiply the first fraction by 2 to get the same denominator. Then I can get it like this. Now see my next step. 23 times 2, I'm getting 46 over 6 because 2 times 3 is 6 minus 7 over 6. Now my denominators are same. Therefore, I can subtract the numerator and write. 46 minus 7, it's 39. Now this is my improper fraction. Now I can write it as a mixed number. As 6 times 6, it's 36. 3 remains, that is out of 6. Like that way I can write. Okay. Let's move to the next part. Now here we are going to learn about the BODMAS or the BIDMAS, right? Under the BODMAS or the BIDMAS, we identify the brackets, indices, then the division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction, right? Now that is the order we are going to do, right? I will do this first question. Now, according to my first question, it's 12 plus 4 times 2, right? So according to BODMAS or according to BIDMAS, what you have to do, now if you include BODMAS, then the O stands for off or power. If you include BIDMAS, I stands for indices, right? That's the difference. Now, according to this, we have to do the multiplication first. Therefore, I have included a bracket there, right? Then I can take 12 plus 4 times 2, it's 8. Then 12 plus 8, it's 20. So I will end up with 20. So that's the answer I'm getting for the first question, right? Let's do another question, right? Now see, I'm going to do this one. My question is 8 minus 3 times 2 squared. Now, according to BIDMAS, now we know that we have to do this multiplication first. Then 8 minus 3 times 2 is 6. Include the bracket, it's squared. So then 6 minus 8 minus 6, it's 2. So you have to find what is 2 squared. 2 squared means 2 times 2. So when you find 2 times 2, you are getting 4, right? So that's the answer, right? We'll try another one, right? We'll do this 8th question. Okay, see my 8th question. 4 plus 4 squared divided by 6 divided by 3 times 2, right? This is division. I will write it. It's division. Right. Now we'll do it. So first of all, What is 4 squared? 4 squared means 4 into 4. So it's 16. So I can write 4 plus 4 squared. 4 times 4 is 16. So 4 plus 16. Down here, I will do this multiplication. 3 times 2 is 6. So what is 6 divided by 6? It's 1. Up I have 4 plus 16, it's 20. Then 20 divided by 1, I'll end up with 20, right? So up to now, what we have done, we identify the fractions, right? So what are the things we have done today? We identify the fractions and how to convert how to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number we learn, and then the mixed number to improper we learn, and then how to simplify fractions we learn, and how do we add the fractions, addition of fractions, subtraction of fractions, multiplication of fractions, and the division of fractions we did. And then we learn how do we identify the BIDMAS or the BODMAS. So if you take BIDMAS, according to BIDMAS, B stands for brackets, I stands for indices, then the division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So according to that order, you should do, right? So we have done some questions from there. And under the unit 1, as I mentioned you earlier, there are several topics. Now, I have taken the number 1 topic. There also we have the significant figures. Some more parts are there that I will do it from another video, right? Thank you very much.